All right, we're here today with a really special guest. So we're here with Joanne Candy Brown, and she's the owner of the Gingered Peach. And there's quite a story that goes about how the Gingered Peach got started. What happened? How did this come about?
I really loved baking. I had a job I didn't love so much, and I've been living in this area 3 years at the time. And I realized that I didn't see a bakery that I love that aligned with what I like to eat. And I had been a hobbyist baker for a while, and I figured I would give it a go. So here we are 8 years later.
Right. And I also understand you've won a number of awards.
Yes.
And a James Beard Award.
I won a James Beard Fellowship. I don't have a James Beard Award yet. We'll see what happens. We're working on it. But I received a fellowship from the James Beard Foundation. I received award from the Princeton Chamber for Women of Achievement. I've received an award from Nonprofit Connect for our community involvement. So I've been really, we just won Best Bakery from New Jersey Monthly, Best Bakery Central New Jersey. So there's North, South, and Central. So we've been doing pretty good.
What do you attribute your success? Because prior to this Gingered Peach, there was another bakery here and didn't go as well.
I think the success of the Gingered Peach is being, one, incredibly dialed into what the customer wants and listening and hearing that feedback and creating products that align with their palates and their taste buds. I also think it's the staff here. The staff plays a huge role in, one thing that people always want to do when they say the Gingered Peaches, or if they're going to send us something in the mail, is they write the Gingered Peach Bakery. And that always makes me feel weird because to me, this is more than a bakery. It's a meeting space. It's a place for activism. It's a place for community involvement.
So as for community involvement, I know you're very charitable, and there's a number of organizations that you support and have donated to. Can you give us an idea of what some of those local ones are?
Sure. I give to as many people as I can. I tend to be passionate about gifting what we have to causes that support food insecurity and raising awareness around that. So I have a pretty close relationship with the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen.
Right.
I try to support the high schools and grammar schools in Trenton because that's where the need is. But for the most part, anything that aligns with food and women and entrepreneurship has my attention.
You're also a resident of Lawrenceville.
I am.
Now, rumor has it, maybe after 4 years of planning, something was approved just recently.
Yes.
Can you share with us what that is? It's a secret. Don't tell anybody.
After 4 years of planning, so let's go back to what it stems to. We ran into a situation where everybody's been just so great to us here that we've run out of space, and we had to choose between moving the Gingered Peach or finding a creative solution around that. And the creative solution became, let's put an additional baking space commissary in Lawrence, but let's just not make it a closed facility. Let's extend our reach into another category. So Lawrence Township, hopefully in 2023, will see a new concept from the Gingered Peach called Marmalade, which will be what I'm calling a modern day luncheonette. Yeah, that's the next thing you'll see from us.
Right. Again, supporting the community. Now, also one of the interesting things I did some research on, one of the products that you offer, one of the cookies, is called the Blackout Cookie.
It's called the Blackout Cookie, yep.
Is there a little history on how that came about?
You know, as someone in food, and whether you're a chef or baking, you're always kind of searching and looking at ingredients. And years ago, I was looking at cocoa because we use Calabo's Royal Dutch, which is like a reddish cocoa, but when it bakes off, it looks black like regular chocolate. But as I was looking, I found this cocoa called Jet Black Cocoa. And I found out that Jet Black Cocoa is what is used to make Oreo cookies. And I love the taste of an Oreo cookie. So I said, well, what if we bring that Jet Black Cocoa in and kind of elevate it? And I just thought the striking difference between a jet black cocoa and a white marshmallow would look really cool. And then it went down the road of, let's make it a Rocky Road cookie. And that's how we ended up with the Blackout Cookie.
All right. Now, do you have other signature products here that folks can't really find anywhere else?
Yeah, well, we have, Gingered Peach tends to lean on nostalgia, so we like to bring a different raised variation of products that you know and love, but kind of elevating them a little bit. But I will tell you, there is one product that we have that you can't get anywhere, which is called the Trenton Volcano.
The Trenton Volcano.
I had every intention, originally when we planned the bakery, we brought in like a griddle and we were going to make breakfast sandwiches. But from right out of the jump, we were so busy with baking that we couldn't allot the space. So the conceptualization behind that product was, well, how do we make a breakfast sandwich that's portable, that we don't have to make constantly? So we took our brioche and we stuffed it with Casey's pork roll, straight out of Trenton, spinach, cheddar cheese, Swiss cheese, and everything bagel seasoning, because I love it. New Jersey loves it. And we put it into what we're going to call like a bun, and it became the Trenton Volcano.
Now, staff-wise, when you started, you had a couple of folks that are assisting.
Yeah.
So how has your staff grown? How have you supported the employment in and around the Lawrence area, Mercer County?
When I opened, I had one full-time baker and then 2 part-time employees in addition to me. So we were a team of 4 when I opened. Now we are at a team of 26 here. 16 of those employees are full-time, 10 are part-time. So we've grown and we've contributed not just jobs. We have been contributing full-time roles and staffing and engagement to this community.
Can you tell us something that most people don't know about Joanne? I mean, we know you're married. We know you have 2 great kids. What else can you share with some folks?
Well, here's something that I shared probably about a year ago on social media when one of our neighbors just opened up their new business, Final Boss, down the street. But I have a pretty extensive comic book collection, which most people don't know. I, to this day, have like 300 comic books that I keep locked up.
Yeah, and there is a comic book store 2 doors down.
2 doors down, yep.
So if you can't find her here, maybe check
me down, Final Boss, yeah.
All right, so we're doing a video here, but being on TV is not a new experience for you.
No. So what happened was I was contacted by the Today Show last year sometime, and it was for Women in Business Month, and they basically had said, oh, we're looking at a bunch of different women in business that we'd like to interview for the segment. It's going to be a few of you. And then they put me through an interview, and they asked a lot about our charity work, but also what we do internally. As the weeks went on, it became, okay, you've been chosen, you're going to be this person. So I think that I am contributing to what it's like to be a woman entrepreneur. So they come behind the scenes, and it turns out that's not what it was.
Right.
And after they filmed here for 2 days, they ended up surprising my 2 favorite charities, I Am Trenton and the Trenton Soup Kitchen, with $25,000 donations on my behalf to support their work. And
that had to make you feel really, really
it felt
good.
great. It felt great. It was a massive surprise because, once again, I didn't know. They were very stealth about it. They had my college roommate outside and my close friends outside when I walked out of the building.
Community came out to support.
Community came out to support. But no, it felt great. It was fantastic.
All right, so now just a couple of quick things. What's Joanne's favorite color?
Oh gosh, probably orange.
Okay, what's your favorite music?
Hip hop.
Hip hop. Okay, and you travel a lot.
Now.
Okay. All right. You were also open as much as you could be during the pandemic.
Yes.
How did that affect you, your business, and the people that were employed here?
It was mentally draining. None of us were prepared for that at all. And it was hard. It set us back in our timeline in terms of the goals that we wanted to achieve. It was financially devastating. However, it was incredibly positive because, one, I think surviving something like that, being a female entrepreneur in general is a struggle. But overcoming something as big as that and strategically planning and working your way through it and coming out the other side makes you realize that some of the everyday things that you're like, oh God, this is really hard, aren't really as bad as they should be. It gives you a new perspective. I think that my employees, it was hard for them, but we tried to soften the blow as much as possible. But we were very fortunate that when we reopened, we reopened with the entire team that we shut down with, which is great. But it really did prove to me how much our community is behind the work we do. And I always knew that, but this was a different level of giving and love, and because we're used to being the ones who are giving and putting ourselves out there and putting our work out there. This was just a totally different support for me. And I've always been bad at asking for help, so I didn't even have to ask. They didn't make me be in that position to do that. But it just, I guess if we were to wrap it all up in a bow, it cemented in my head the plan of like everything that I do will be given to Lawrence, and it made me like, yeah, this was the right choice.
Getting on a little lighter subject, what does Joanne like to do for fun?
Oh my gosh, for fun? You know, I know this is going to sound incredibly corny. I've turned what I like to do for fun into my job. I live and breathe cooking and baking and experimenting, and I just love experiencing different people's cultures through food. So I tend to make my fun trips like, I'm going to go visit this restaurant, or I'm going to go visit this bakery.
All right, and we've established you're in Lawrence, and you're expanding.
Yes.
Why Lawrence, Lawrenceville, the Lawrence area? What is it that made you?
I'll be honest with you. In my former career, before doing this, I was commuting an hour and 40 minutes to work every day when I moved down here. And I knew I didn't want that for my life. I knew I was going to eventually have children. So I was living in Ewing, and I just said, I want to find a place that's within 20 minutes of where I live. This all just serendipitously happened. Like I was recruited here from the landlord. And then when I researched the area, I kind of was like, you know, everybody seems like pretty chill. It's really close to where I live. It's a beautiful street. There's a great school across the street. This is the right fit for me. So that's what brought me to Lawrence. What brings me and keeps me in Lawrence is people get me here. I don't have to explain like why I did something this way. People just get it. So that's what keeps me in Lawrence.
So you're living, loving Lawrence, and you're working. You're staying local.
Staying local.
You support the other businesses in and around this area
As much as I can.
Well, I have a little surprise that we're going to do, and you'll catch it on the next update. But this is the Gingered Peach. Your address is
2 Gordon Avenue, Lawrence Township, New Jersey.
And it's the cross street of Main Street
and
in Lawrence.
Gordon Avenue. Yep.
And Gordon Avenue. And do you create special orders for folks?
We do, yeah. So we don't do them as much because of the sheer volume here, but we have a bunch of wholesale partners that we work with too. Shout out to Small World Coffee, Princeton University, Rojo's Roastery in Princeton. But we do create special orders. So if you said you wanted a cake for this particular occasion, or I'm going to have a meeting and I'd like some miniature pastries, we do that too. Coffee
You
wraps.
also personalize. You can put logos
Correct.
on, which she's done for.
Yes, we have.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. We're going to
Thank
go take a look and see how some of this stuff is done behind the scenes. So thank you very much, Joanne, for being Joanne.
Thanks for having me.